Welcome to the Tech Grinder podcast, where we are breaking new ground and pushing past the status quo when it comes to the startup ecosystem. But before we get started, the podcast has been created for entertainment and educational purposes only, and nothing in the content should be taken as investment advice. To see the full disclaimer, go to www.techgrinder.com. That's www.techgrinder.com. So let's get started, and we hope you enjoy this episode. So let's get into it. One of our things here at techgrinder.com is we don't want to see anyone get left behind now and in the future. One of our main messages is to foster awareness that software skills are powerful. We have very strong convictions in relation to this because we are living in an extremely competitive world, and it would be logical to think it could get more intense in the future. It is definitely a bit discerning, but that is why we have chosen to be positive and foster awareness. We hope we can be inspirational and maybe influence some folks to dive in and increase their skill set. The interesting thing is that gaining software skills can be immensely positive whether you are a founder or someone that just plans to work at a startup or company. It is just kind of like you can never go wrong gaining software skills, and learning can actually be really fun. Sometimes we like to talk about graphic design because it can lead to so many things. Firstly, graphic design can lead to web design, and web design can lead to UX/UI design. And UX/UI design can possibly lead to app and web application development. It kind of has a one thing leads to another effect. Our experience has been that the more we use software, that it just felt familiar, so it just felt easier. But again, that is just our experience. Software is coming online every day, and it can be somewhat overwhelming. But the neat thing about it is that people can go about it at their own pace. There are just so many positive things that could arise from gaining software skills that we feel confident in our mission to foster awareness. Something else that is brewing under the hood when it comes to software is the no-code movement. It is just getting easier and easier to create stuff, and there are a lot of very creative things that people can do to make some very interesting products. It is really an exciting time for no-code software, and the industry is expected to grow. As we are just getting started here at techgrinder.com, let us assure you this is just the beginning of us diving into the no-code movement. But even though it has become easier to develop a product, it is still very hard to launch a product and build some traction. No sugarcoating that, and that is definitely where the grit and hard work comes in. And again, this is where software can be so helpful. Graphic and video design software for creating content, all the basic office productivity tools like word processing software for writing, it just kind of goes on and on. But it also shows you that founders have to have a lot of software skills to get things done, even if they are not considered a technical founder. Let's switch gears slightly and talk about workers that might just want to work at a startup or company. If you're someone who is trying to enter the world of tech for the first time, it is pretty safe to say there are definitely obstacles and barriers to entry. And most of these entry-level roles require software skills, whether it is sales, marketing, customer success, or customer service. All of these roles will require software skills that vary from company to company, but a lot of the time they can have similarities. But getting accustomed to what software programs companies are using for business operations is a good practice. If there is one software product that really gets the Queen and King's crown for being the most commonly used software, other than the commonly used office suites of software, it is customer relationship management software, or what is known as a CRM. CRMs are used in sales, marketing, and in customer service, and are extremely widely used. But don't get us wrong, learning Office software suites is highly important as well, which consist of word processing, spreadsheets, cloud storage applications, and more. But again, it is really quite hard to compare the wide usage of CRMs to anything else. CRMs are just kind of in a world of their own. Fostering awareness in software skills is one of our main goals at TechGrinder.com, and CRMs are right up there at the top of the list. As we begin to come to the end of this episode, some folks might ask why TechGrinder.com is so focused on tech skills. Well, the way we see it is that in 2022, the competition in our world is fierce, and it would appear logical that the competition for jobs and startup capital will only get more intense. So the question is, exactly how fiercely smart are people going to need to be in the future to survive? And again, we don't want to see people get left behind. So we are focused on software skills, and we are fierce in our conviction. When it comes to talking about software skills, we are just coming out of the dugout and stretching. We haven't even begun to throw warm-up pitches for the first inning. And for those who might not like baseball metaphors, it just means we are just getting started. We really hope that you liked this episode and some of the things we said about graphic design, the no-code movement, office productivity software, and of course CRMs. Thanks for listening. Until next time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Tech Grinder podcast. If you'd like to continue the conversation, you can find us on Twitter, and as we evolve, also on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.